This is our daily Mussar with a little twist today, since we are in a mood of giving. I'll give you, Be'ezrat Hashem, a almond or a Segula for money. It says in Sefer Yeshaya, Isaiah 58, ועניים מרודים תביא בית גדול. And having poor people, very poor people, will bring a big house. What does it mean? It says in Bereshit, based on Bereshit, הגבלת אורחים מהגבלת פני שכינה. It is a greater thing to welcome guests into your house than accepting the divine presence itself. Because we know from Avraham Avinu, when God was talking to him after he had the Brit Milah, after he circumcised himself, he saw three men, which turned to be angels, but three men walking by in the desert. He said to God, "Un moment, por favor." He went them and he ran to them. He says, "Welcome, please, refresh yourself, sit down, and prepare." And one needs to remember how important this mitzvah is. Not only to let the guests in your house, but to welcome them with sever panim yafot, with a big smile on your face. Give him the best you have. Give him the best bourbon you have, the best whiskey you have, best food you have. Don't get some kind of not bottom shelf, basement shelf whiskey that you have. Give him the top shelf, the 30-year-old whiskey you have. Give it to your guests. What do you have it for? It's like these people who have a collection of bottles of whiskey. I never drink it. I also have a collection of bottles of, actually, bourbon. It's all in my stomach. It was meant to share it with people. Meant to share it. If you had a 30-year-old Well McKay, it's like, I don't know, 100,000 sterlings, 150 pounds, English pounds for a bottle of whiskey. What's a better thing than to share it with your best friends? Or to share it with people altogether? This is a way, an indication to see, to show us really if you had transformed yourself from a person to a Ben Torah. If you were really merited to be called the son of Avraham. Avraham was Machnis Orchim, our grandfather, our father, Avi Umah, patriarch of our nation. It is very strange for me when I came here to America, where people don't really go to visit people. Where you would have neighbors that never set a foot in their neighbor's house or apartment. At best, it says good morning. At best. When I lived with my wife in Israel, we had people coming down at 11:30 at night, 12 o'clock at night. I'm sleeping, knock on the door. "Hey, how you doing? We're here." "Oh, Chavot, chef, sit down. Sit down, have some beer, take some cheese, and sit outside on the porch, in the balcony." It was summer. It was okay. No big deal. I remember as a kid, sometimes people would drop at our house, in my parents' house, and they had the refrigerator that I don't think today, it was like this big. And my mother always had frozen pastry burekas in the freezer, because people used to come, I don't know, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, knock it, "Hey, we came to eat." Take it out, put it in, like this. And sometimes just don't go to sleep, get up the next day and just keep on going. And it makes you feel alive. How wonderful. I have one neighbor like this. I do have to say, I have one neighbor like this. And I love this guy. He's the greatest guy. He just opens the doors. Hey, anybody here? Yeah, well, I'm taking a shower. Be right there. He's a great guy. Other than that, I tell you, it's very lonely to be here in America.
He's Israeli?
No, he's not. He's just a warm person. I came here to America. I'm very lonely. I'm not used to this. They say, oh, maybe something's wrong with you. No, everybody's like that. So this shiur is dedicated to all the lonely people thinking that life has just passed them by. Don't give up until you knock on your neighbor's door and make yourself a home, and so on and so forth, and learn how to share. Sharing is fun, especially when you pay for it. But sharing is fun. It's really a lot of fun. It brings us together. You have no idea the importance of having good friends. Family is family, you know. Friends is... very few people will call their brother or sister at like 3 o'clock in the morning and say, listen, I have a flat tire, can you go pick me up? But there would be friends that you call them and say, listen, I'm stuck somewhere and, you know, sure, not a problem, I'll be there. You know, just give me an hour, I'll be there. I mean, because he has to drive about 80 miles. He'll be there. There are friends like this. And it's not something you can buy with money. How do you buy friends like this? By opening the door for them. Opening the door for someone means you also open your heart to them. And we are so vulnerable, we are so weak, that we're afraid to open our hearts. Because we're afraid. So don't be afraid. So what do? We're being afraid, so we barricade ourselves in, we put alarm systems in, we're sitting down with the shotgun in our beds like that, and so on and so forth. Relax. Show some presence. Acknowledge. Say hello, how are you? It doesn't hurt you. Nothing will happen to you if you say, hey, how are you? You know how many people around you are lonely, will be willing to somebody to acknowledge them? How many people eat alone on Shabbat? This is a Shabbat to sit alone in front of your candles. I don't know, there's nothing. What are you going to make? Going to make a chicken? You know, you go to the store, you buy something ready. How can you go to sleep when your beds are burning? With the shame that you just filled your stomach up. We call to that who gave you? Of course God gave you. So you didn't want to share it with anyone. How can you go to sleep like that? I don't understand it. So you see, you know there's somebody is lonely, this woman or this man. Say, listen, don't treat them like a charity case. You need to beg people to come to you. So do me a favor, I'm alone. You want to come, you know, break some bread with me. Come over to Shabbat, you know, we have some good time. I'm lonely here. Don't tell them, oh, I know you're lonely, come to my house. Tell them, I'm lonely, I need you. Yes, beg people. I feel insulted when somebody tells me, no, I go somewhere. What do you mean go somewhere? Come to me. How about me? Come to my house. I like to cook. It's a lot of fun. Share it. We have it here for a very limited time. Thank God we have refrigerators. So Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us an abundance. For what? To fill up the garbage? Give it to them, share it with someone. We says, Kneh lecha chaver. You have to buy yourself a friend. How you buy yourself a friend? If you take the word kneh, to buy, you change the letter of the order, it says nakeh. Clean your heart and buy a friend. Clear the fog from your heart. Buy yourself a friend. Also, lehanik is to nourish. Hanaka. Hanek lecha chaver. Hanek lecha, like a mother that nurses the child. Give from yourself to your friend. Give from yourself to anyone, and then you have a friend. You don't say, Mr. Smith here, he's a man of resources. Let me be his friend. Smithy, would you like me to buy you shawarma? Let me buy you. No, this is not how you do it. You give from yourself to the guy. Say, hey, what are you? No problem. Share. Give yourself from somebody else. Hanek. Nourish from yourself to the other, and he'll be your friend. You want God in your presence? Not a problem. You want a big house? It's not a problem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, listen, look at this guy, my boy here. He takes care of my people. He takes care of my creations. I need to take care of him. I give him. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, if you want to have Segula leparnasa, have people at your table, strangers on the table, so they say Birkat HaOreach. They said the blessing of the guest. And what the wonderful thing that the guest sees this gratitude, has this gratitude to the person. And he says Birkat HaOreach. He says, Shulchan Hazeh, the table that we ate, Yisader Bo HaKadosh Baruch Hu should say in Ma'adanei Olam. Delicacies from all worlds, from all the worlds. What a bracha he says that you mezonotav umezonotenu krovim la'ir, that he doesn't have to travel far for his money. V'lo yitztarech lidei matnat basar v'adam, he should not need anything. The guy is giving you such a blessing. You would fly to Australia and back to get a blessing from a rabbi that does not come near, because he doesn't have anything to do with you. Well, here is a guy that you share something with him and he'll give you the bracha from the bottom of his heart because he just had a good time. It's the first Shabbat in 3 years that he did not spend alone. They actually sit down with a friend and he had a glass of wine. And you know what? It doesn't have to be on Shabbat. It could be on Tuesday too. But Shabbat even more. Or Chag. How much leftovers can you eat? How much leftovers does your garbage eat? Share your food. Share your food. Share your house. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you a nice house. Bring somebody in. You want a bracha in your actions? You want a blessing in your house? Bring people in. Open your heart. Open your homes. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu yiftach lachem me'otzaru hatov. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us from His hiding places Melo kol tuv, an abundance of good. And b'zchut zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us all shefa, bracha, ve'atzlacha, an abundance, blessing and success. Let's open our hearts. Amen.